So I'm 31, actually 32. I'm in my 30s and I still live with my parents in that house like a typical millennial. I know. But, you know, still live with my parents. But that's okay. You want to know why? I bought a crane. This is a 1990, I believe, Grove crane. 30 tons max capacity, so that's at 10 feet, 30 tons. Off-road, not on-road, hence the massive tires. I was looking not as big as my tractor tires, but pretty darn close. Given its age, it's not in bad condition. A little bit of rust here and there. Some spots that need work. When I bought it, it said that there's 2 problems with it at minimum, that it wouldn't go up, or wouldn't boom down, cable down, something like that. Something was messed up with the LMI system, the load management system. Yeah, I don't know what their issue was. It runs fine for me. Now, there's another issue, the shift lever sticks. So this lever is jammed. I don't know why. I haven't really got into it. That was the 2 things that they specified on the listing. I would also like to state that I took my life in my hands trying to get this camera up here. Okay, our man left this Grove, and I figured something out with them. They hired both the best engineers and the stupidest. Because that step sucks. But then you'll have other stuff like engineered to perfection. So I don't understand. I don't know. I do like the horn though. So I think it's broken. So yeah, there needs to be a step right there. But that's sort of the 2 problems that they specified. They said, there might be more. Who knows? Now, there are more issues, and I'll try to hit them. Main cylinders leak a little out of the front. Actually, maybe more than a little. But they leak. It doesn't seem to impede function, so I'm not going to worry about it. I'm not climbing up there with the camera, but I don't think I can see it either. I'm trying. No, there's a connector up there, right there. It's part of the, I think it's the LMI system. I'm pretty sure that was the issue, bad connection. So problems kind of continue underneath. I was trying to get the outriggers out. There is a hose right there that leaks. It looks like the return line for the rear control valve, hydraulic control valve. It's a pressurized return, so pinhole's gonna leak. And if we hop up onto the deck and find a pneumatic system, those brake calipers, at least the one I opened up, has no oil in it, so that'll be why I don't have brakes. I mean, I'm just guessing here. I would imagine oil's useful in brakes. You can also see that's the line that's leaking for the control valve, lower control valve. I don't think there's many other control valves down here. I don't know. I'm rambling now. But that's all the issues I found thus far, at least that I can think of off the top of my head. It does have a jib. Got a 6BT engine, which is strong. Fires right up. I mean, they did replace the batteries. It looks like with brand new batteries, but still, fires right up. Looks like they might have put on a new tire, because that's a pretty good condition. The rest of the tires don't look bad either. They may have some age to them, but I mean, you got years worth of life, if not a decade worth of life on that tread. Dry rot's going to be the major issue. And it has a 40-ton block on it. This thing's massive. So I like to get a drone shot of this, but I gotta fix a couple things first. I want to fix the brakes. Their top priority is brakes. I don't know why, I just figured top priority probably should be brakes. And that one hose so I can get outriggers to work. I can lift without outriggers, it's just a little weird. Yeah, I don't know if you can see, there's a wet spot in there, so we might have another leak inside of there, which might explain why I'm not rotating. Rotation's not working. I thought maybe it was a lockout due to no outriggers, but it could also be a leak. I mean, 30-year-old hoses are going to leak. So before I start fixing anything, I'm going to clean this thing because it is grungy. And that's going to make it a mess to work on. It's going to make it a mess to find leaks. It's going to make a mess repairing stuff because all that crap's going to get into everything. So, yeah, I'm going to fix it. I'm going to clean that first. Oh, I also forgot the rear steer cylinder, I think, might be leaking. I don't think you can see that, but it's really grungy, and rear steer feels a little wonky, like it's drifting back and forth a lot. So, but that's low on priority list because I'm just driving it around the property, so I just have to not hit a building. I know what you're saying. Doesn't look much cleaner, but it is. Trust me, it's cleaner. Still filthy, but cleaner. Unfortunately, some of that dirt was keeping the fuel in. There's a couple pinholes down here. I slowed it down with some screws. I'm gonna go to the parts store, see if I can get some tank repair. It's gonna have to get replaced, but if I can get a year out of it, I'd be happy. Heck, a couple months just to fix the other things before I have to replace the fuel tank. Also made some progress on the brakes. I pulled out both brake calipers and one of the brake actuators. Did a test. The actuators aren't actuating. Actually, the actuators aren't actuating on the actual machine. Yep. I hooked up I just blew compressed air into the input and it moved it fine. It held pressure. So this actuator anyway actuates, but the other actuator I'm not too sure because it's on the actual machine. Okay, I'm done now. So the confusing part is I don't know which one of those pedals is the brakes. I would think it would be the second to the right. So that one, except it doesn't move. Then I thought it would be that one, the second to the left, but that goes back and forth and doesn't seem to do anything. I would think that would be extension and retraction of the boom. That one, the one all the way to the left, I'm pretty sure is the swing brake, which also doesn't seem to be working. So I'm gonna have to drop that lower pan and find out what the heck is going on there with those foot pedals. If the one foot pedal is a footrest or if it's an actual foot pedal. If there's air lines connected to the other one. So yeah, that's gonna be fun. Both master cylinders are at least seized. At least. I think I might have found one that will match up. It's like $70. If I went to actual air brake system, it's like $300 to $600. So yeah, I'm going to try the $70 one. If that doesn't work, I'm going to soak this in rust dissolver and hope for the best. I mean, it's just a 60,000 pound machine. It doesn't really need brakes. So I guess you could say I made some progress. Took a bunch of panels off. The fuel is almost drained. I'll just let that drip overnight. Took out the brake pedal, which I found out was a brake pedal. I stomped on that thing so hard I thought it was a footrest. So yeah, that's jammed. And that led me to take off the back. I forget why. Oh yeah, I had to take off the bottom to get to the brake valve, which then I saw that manifold back there, which is the hydraulic manifold for the gear and forward select. Valve feels fine, so it is clearly a problem with the push-pull cable. Runs from there up to there, or something wrong with that lever. I'm thinking lever because I slammed on that. I think I might have bent the handle. Right, made some progress with the crane today, and yesterday, and maybe the day before. I forgot when I last recorded. So I got the fuel tank sealed up, at least I hope it's sealed up. I used some product called Tank Putty. It's made by the brand that makes that steel putty crap. Seems to be holding. And to complement the new fuel, I put in some new fuel filters, and the engine's running much happier now. Last time I started it, before I drained the fuel, it didn't want to start. Smoked a lot. It probably got a little water in the fuel from pressure washing. Changed it, changed the fuel, fixed the tank, changed the filters, and it started right back up again. So I got the swing to work. Just had to bleed the brake assembly. So you got two ports right there. One is a brake release and the other is a brake application. There's a brake release control on the dash and then a brake pedal, I guess, to slow or stop rotation if you're moving 30 tons. I pulled off the bottom hose and there's no oil, it's bone dry. So I put it back on, cracked both of them, activated both the brake and the brake release until oil came out. Closed that up, and then went to the other side, cracked those two fittings, waited until I got oil out of those two sides and closed it back up, and it worked fine. One interesting thing that I may note someplace else, but I'll also note it here, those lines are not standard hydraulic fluid. They are actually transmission fluid. I don't know why I couldn't think of transmission fluid, but that's what it is, transmission fluid. Which is actually a pretty ingenious idea. They have a hydraulic circuit, I guess you'd call it, coming from the transmission to actuate the transmission gears, and that uses the transmission fluid. I guess the transmission has its own pump for that. The issue with using standard hydraulic is that's a wet brake application. Standard hydraulic fluid will eat away brakes. That's why if you have a tractor, you don't use hydraulic fluid in your tractor. If you do, you don't have any brakes anymore. Anyway, the hydraulic fluid that is meant to go into a tractor is designed to not chew away at the brake pads. Obviously, getting 80 gallons of that specialized hydraulic fluid would be absurdly expensive, so they utilize the ATF fluid that is already flowing through the transmission case. Good idea. I got no complaints about it. I'm not going to open up the panel, but I did get the fittings for that hydraulic line that needs to be replaced so I can actuate the outriggers. I got all filters, including hydraulic filter, except for the transmission filter. The issue with the transmission filter, it's underneath. It's still filthy under there. I want to get it up on the outriggers to give me like an extra, I'm hoping, foot of headroom so I can better pressure wash. And then I have to pull that filter out, find out what the filter is, get the filter on order, dump the transmission fluid, find out how much transmission fluid it takes, and then get the correct amount of transmission fluid. I don't know why they can't write these things down in the service manual, but they don't. So the brake pedal is completely seized. I can't get it to move. I mean, I don't know which part is seized, if it's the valve section or the pedal. Found one on eBay for like 120, so I just bought that. It's remanufactured, looks brand spanking new, so that'll be a lot easier than trying to unseize that pedal. And the good news for the brake system keeps on coming. So that's the original, if you couldn't tell. Looked online for hydraulic over pneumatic brake master cylinders. They're like wanting $300 to $600. Went on Amazon, started poking around. I don't know how. Actually, it wasn't on Amazon, but I bought it through Amazon. I don't know how I found this master cylinder, but it's an exact match to that. It is a Dorman, so not top quality, but I'm only stomping like 60,000 pounds. Ain't no big deal. Anyway, this one was like 60 something dollars for one. A lot cheaper than 300. So yeah, I bought one, made sure it worked, and the other one is on its way.